Welcome to the Learn How to Use WonderLogix training series. For this lesson, we're going to walk you through a project to create a fluid pumping system. In this case, it will be an oil lubrication system. But the same system could be easily used to pump any fluid, such as water, fuel, or beer. To get the most out of this series, you will want to follow along with your own copy of WonderLogix. If you don't already have a copy of WonderLogix, please go to our website at www.wonderlogix.com and request a trial version so that you can follow along with us during these lessons. At this point, I'm going to assume you have already installed and started WonderLogix and are ready to learn. You should always begin your WonderLogix process by having a project document, such as this one, that contains the following three elements: a system diagram, such as a P&ID, shown here of the lubrication system we're going to design, a list of the components in your system, and a list of the process logic or functionality you want your system to have. As you can see here, we're going to design an oil lubrication subsystem that's part of a larger system, such as one with a turbine. We have some bearings that we need to have lubricated. For our list of components, that includes an oil pump. It has a flow switch low on the pump discharge that'll be triggered or active if the flow is not detected. And we have a level transmitter and an oil tank. As for the functionality that we want this system to have, if we enable the entire lubrication subsystem here, basically if we supply the system with power, then we want the pump to turn on. Next, if the oil tank level drops below 20% though, then we want to turn that pump off. And if the pump is asked to operate and for at least 3 seconds it's been running, but the flow switch indicates low flow, then we want to report that condition as a failure outside of the entire lubrication system. Because if the pump's allowed to pump, but fluid is not flowing, then something is wrong and needs to be checked out. Okay, that covers our component list and the desired functionality requirements for our project. Let's fire up our software and see how we go about creating this project within WonderLogix. Okay, just a reminder that you can pause these videos as often as you need to in order to watch a bit and then follow along in your own copy of WonderLogix. Let's start WonderLogix. Let's create a new project. I'm going to call it Lubrication System. We'll accept the default path here and we'll click Create. All right, here we are in WonderLogix. Let's create our first components. I'm going to add an overlay to our screen here so we can keep that component list handy. Okay, first up we need to create a pump. And here at the bottom of the screen where this plus sign is, we can click this in order to add a component. We'll call it a pump. It's certainly a physical device, and we'll hit Create. Great. Next we have a flow switch low. We can do the same thing here. Flow switch low, it's also a physical device, and create that. But as we look at the diagram, the pump and the flow switch, which is related to the pump, work together. So let's make a logical component and put them together and make that an entire pump unit. All right, so to do that, we can click the plus sign again, or alternatively, we can just right click. Choose we want to add a component. I'm going to call it a pump unit. I'm not going to check the physical box because I want it to be logical, and we'll hit Create. And there we go. Now, a physical device you cannot drill into. You can double click on it, but it won't do anything. But the pump unit, since it's logical and has this white background, you can drill into that. So let's move these two physical devices down into our pump unit. We can actually click and drag on an item like this flow switch low, drag it over the pump unit. You'll see it kind of gets a highlight underneath of it. We'll drop it in there. Great. Or we can right click on a component like this pump and say we want to lower it down into a parent object. In this case, the pump unit's our only choice. If there were multiple units here, we could drop them into whichever one we picked. Say OK, and there we go. Now we have our first logical unit, the pump unit with its flow switch low and the pump. All right, so next let's add our oil tank. And while the oil tank itself isn't a device that we can control, just like the pump unit, it's a useful construct to group things related to it into one place. And that way we can add logic and things to it. Let's drill into there. Let's add our level transmitter. That's certainly a physical device. All right, there we go. And you'll notice over here in the project pane, our little tree is starting to be built out with our lubrication system and our pump unit with its items inside and the oil tank with its item inside. Okay, great. So we just finished adding our components. And that's a good stopping point. We'll see you in the next video.